Hear you, coach. You gotta turn the audio on. There you
Okay,
go.
there you go. Yep.
How
What
you
up,
doing?
buddy?
It's been a while.
I know, man. You looking good.
Thanks. I'm trying.
Looking good, man. Proud of you, man. I've been looking at you, doing what you love to do, taking pictures,
Yeah, I'm
photography, and
doing that. I'm a car salesman. That's my number one job.
okay. Where you working at?
Ford here in Clarion.
Okay. How's
Yeah,
that working out for you?
been going great. I haven't been there long, but best job I've ever had.
Yeah, how many other jobs you done had?
Shit, I had a lot, coach.
So hold on, what year you in right now?
I'm not in school anymore. I'm a salesman now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Man, hey, if you figure out what you need to do and go run after it, go ahead and get it.
yeah. What are you doing
Yeah.
now?
I you know what I do. I coach. I'm actually
Yeah.
coaching pro football now. Coach professional football in Sacramento, California. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina now, and then I just train. I have my own app called Running Buddy. Doing some we doing some new updates to it right now. But I just purchased my new app last night. I got it. So I got a second app. I just purchased and finished paying for. This is going to be it's a music app. This is going to be that app that's going to be all the way up there. And I promise you, once I finish doing the pieces of putting this together, because I got an app team that actually builds my apps for me. And and once I finish this, some type of mogul is going to buy this from me for at least 600 to 700 million dollars. So it's real new venture. I'm on building apps and everything else. I don't actually do it. I got an app team that builds them for me, and I just bring them my ideas and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I coach high school football down here in Charlotte. I've been doing that since I moved down here. I moved down here in 2018. After all the craziness in Baltimore, man, I had to get out of there, man. So and so just been enjoying. Like, it's so peaceful here, man. Like I guess
Yeah.
that's what you go through up there,
Yeah.
in Pennsylvania. So it's just peaceful here. It's the South. People smile and wave at you before you wave at them, which is when I first got here, it was unusual for me
Yeah.
because we so guarded where we come from, and it's just so we could protect ourselves and everything. It's like like you put a sign on the door to say beware a dog. You know what I mean? And you don't even have a dog there. Just so nobody won't break into your house. So so that's how I live in Baltimore with yourself, and we just so guarded. And so now here, I don't have to be. I could just be who I am, man. I love speaking to people. I love meeting new people and stuff like that. We was raised never talk to strangers. Well, when I go to school for the first time, I don't know nobody. So unless I talk to one of the kids as a stranger, I won't have no friends. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I always been that type. So, but yeah, I love living here in Charlotte, man. I'm only gonna be here for probably about another 2 years. I can't live in California because I coach in Sacramento, but it's so expensive out there. So I just come back to the East Coast. So for because of COVID went on, for the COVID rules have messed up our seasons and everything else. So we play in the spring, but just the last COVID rules and everything and the contact rules out there in California is a little different. So it just messed up our season. So we be right back at it in October. Going into January, we start training camp in the end of January in Daytona Beach, Florida.
All right. All right. Well, that's
So
good for you. So your app, Running Buddy, so what is it? So can is someone like maybe someone who wants to get into running, they get on there and what is it?
no, well, so so Running Buddy was I came up with Running Buddy about I want to say 2009. I came up with the idea, and what happened was I designed and went through a patent research and did a patent for a treadmill, and the treadmill was going to be called the Running Buddy. And I designed the treadmill. I got with this company called Davidson Design, and we got it started. And then when it was time for me to do my prototype, they needed $27,000, and I said, man, I don't have no type of money like that to be. I gave y'all all the money that I had so far. You know what I mean? So I was coaching. I was at Team Holy Dirt, but so the treadmill was a treadmill where this was really before video camera was really on your phone.
Right.
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 And so I created a treadmill with a video camera in it where you can see me and I can see you, and we can actually walk on a treadmill together. You know what I mean? Because usually you have a running buddy that go jogging with you throughout the day, but as soon as life take a hold of them, like they got to take their kids to practice, or they got to go home and cook, so they can't meet with you and this that, and other, then your workout is trapped into that person's availability. So with Running Buddy, if they would have had a treadmill at their house, you would have had a treadmill at your house, and y'all can get on the treadmill and still walk like y'all in the same place, talk, see each other, exchange music and everything. So my treadmill was going to have all these features on it and everything else. And so being as though I never had the money, I never gave up on it. But, back then being married, you had to do what you had to do for the family at the time. You know what I mean? Little Dunk was in school. My daughter was in school. And my wife at the time used to tell me, like, you ain't got time to be inventing those stuff. Like, you need to just go get a job. And, you know what I mean? So I didn't give up on it. I just put it on the back burner. And then I just, when I moved down here to Charlotte and got rid of that wife, I didn't have to I didn't have to answer to anybody no more. So all my dreams and goals that I had before, I just went back to them. And I'm like, man, how can I bring back Running Buddy, but I don't have to make the treadmill no more, because now you got all these gyms, Planet Fitnesses and all this stuff. And so I was like, you go and Planet Fitness, it's a treadmill. It's lines and rows of treadmills. So why reinvent the wheel when I could create an app where it could do the same thing? So I flipped it and created an app where you can have trainers from all over the world, right? So trainers that is all over the world, and you could jump in their class and train with them. So being as though I'm not, where you at, and you're not where I'm at, but you remember how I used to train, right? And like people be like, Coach Duncan, we missed them Coach Duncan workouts. Well, with Run Buddy, I can be wherever you at. We can train together, just like me and you looking at each other, go in the gym, put your phone up, set it up, and we train together the same way. You just in your gym and I'm in my gym or whatever. So now the nuances that I'm creating for it is, now I'm going to tell you what hurt me. When the gyms opened back up, it hurt me.
Right.
Because before we was doing it at home, and it was big. But the gyms were open back up, so now ain't nobody really want to be on Running Buddy because they can go back to the gym. So, because, when you doing at home workouts, you got to have a certain level of creativity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To not get bored with it. And I don't know if you log on, but sometimes I would do, workouts Sundays. I would work out on Sundays on Facebook Live and everything, just to give everybody a free workout and give them an idea of what we do on Run Buddy. And I was helping so many people cut weight and lose weight, teach them about their body, stuff like that. So the way I'm revamping it is I'm actually going to train the trainers that I have on there. I'm going to use some of the trainers, and I'm sending them out to train people personally at their houses. So, but I'm only dealing with millionaires. So I'm only dealing with people that have millions, and it's a different market for them. And most of them are millionaire women that need somebody to train their body, this, that, and other. So we send them out to their location for the weekend and everything. And as with my trainers, it's a 50-50 venture on that through Run Buddy. So
I like that.
Right.
So, yeah. All right. So rewinding back, so you started out with Team Holy Dirt. Was that the first team you coached?
No, I actually Team Holy Dirt was my first team I ever owned. So when I first started, I I actually played. You know, I played at Marlboro High School.
Yeah.
But I played my rec ball at Oliver Recreation Center in the city on Spring Street. I played football there. I played basketball at Oliver Rec, and um, and so I had decent rec coaches, but we learned how to play the game the wrong way. We was taught how to tackle with our heads,
Right.
and we led with our heads and everything, and our shoulders really didn't take none of the contact. It was straight head into head type of stuff. That's what we called head up back then. You know what I mean? So what happened was I learned how to play. You know, I went to high school. Same thing, bad coaching in high school. And you benefited big time from me having bad coaches growing up, and I'm gonna tell you why. And so when I got to college, I had these issues in high school where I would lose sight in my left eye, like at the game and stuff like that. Didn't know there was concussions back then,
Yeah.
and I would lose sight in my left eye where I couldn't even see anything out. My left eye was like foggy, and only I couldn't even make out images in my left eye, and it'll bear down, and then the next week, by the time Thursday come, I could see straight again. And then, because think about it, we taking that same contact in practice, we taking that same contact, and then in the game again, it's just not as intense in practice as it is in the game. But so when I got to college, I went to Virginia Union University. When I got to college, um, even in summer practice, I started having problems with being able to my vision, as a running back and everything, and it made it hard on me because my high school coaches wasn't that good of coaches that they could teach me basically how to really play the game the right way. And so I had to get off the football team. And so I lost my scholarship school because I had to get off the football team. They gave me a medical release because they sent me to what's the hospital there? It was MCV hospital, and they gave me a CAT scan. Then and they seen that the left side of my brain, no, the right side of my brain started swelling, and that's what was affecting my left eye. And so the doctor told me, man, if I take another hit, I might not walk again. And when you're hearing that as a 19-year-old, you don't hear you will never walk again. You hear that, man, if you take another hit, you might not play football again. I'm
Yeah.
not understanding that I might not walk again. And my mom got on the phone with the hospital and everything, wanted to know what was going on. And she told me, we had to talk. And I was just afraid to lose my scholarship because I was the first one to leave home and go to college. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing something none of my boys is doing. I'm in college. You hate to see that homeboy that come home from college like, yo, why you home, man? The
Yeah.
coach didn't like me. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
how many times we done heard that?
Man.
So now, and I wasn't gonna be that guy that was gonna go back to Baltimore and be a statistic. The best thing about it, I was a three-sport athlete when I graduated high school, and I made all Metro in three sports my senior year. So basketball is my first love. So I just transferred it over to basketball. But when my son started playing, when Lil Dunk started playing, at 5 years old, I think it was 6. I was just ending up my pro basketball journey because it wasn't really a career, it was a journey. So I was ending my pro basketball journey, came back home to Baltimore, and he wanted me to take him out to the football field to play at Northeast at the Northeast Chargers. And took him out there, and I got him out there 2 weeks late or whatever. And I was trying to coach him from the sideline, and the coaches were saying like, "Hey man, you sound like you know what you're talking about. You want to come out?" Y'all can have that. I ain't going. I'm like, man, I'm getting ready to go back. Get my knee back together. I had messed up my knee. Tore my MCL. So I'm gonna get my knee back together. I'm going back overseas and play basketball. And down in Caracas, Venezuela. And So I said, nah, I was on crutches. I said, nah, I ain't messing with it. You know what I mean? And so I would help him out every little duck out every day just so he can catch up with the rest of the guys. And what happened was the coaches kept asking me, like, yo, come on out here and help because they was losing games. Like, yo, we need you to help us.
Yeah.
I went out there, they sucked me in. I go out there and I start coaching. And by the end of the season, listen to this, by the end of the season, all the coaches are quit. So the kids didn't have no coach. So if I didn't coach the
Yeah.
kids, they would have never had a coach. And so that started my coaching career. So I started off the Northeast Chargers. I used to coach 5. And here's the funny thing. I coached 5'6". No, it was 5'7", 5'7" flag. I coached 5'7" flag for 3 years in a row. That 1 year when the coaches left, the second year, I coached, and I let somebody else be the head because I didn't want to be the head because I had time. I was sneaking off back to the basketball court and everything else while my son was in practice. You know what I mean? And so I ended up coaching real hard. We won a lot of games that year. And so everybody started telling each other about, people go to work and tell people about this guy, Coach Duncan. Take your kid up to Northeast Chargers. Coach Duncan here, discipline them, get them together, teach them how to play football. And they actually start winning games. They winning games. So I would make the kids clean your room and do your homework before you came to practice. I had more control over the kids being a coach than their parents had in their own house.
That's how it
And
is.
so the parents started recommending me and sending them off. And so my 5'7" team became crowded, more and more crowded every year, right? And so I wanted to go up because Lil Duncan went up to another age group, but I'm stuck coaching 5'7", and I can't travel with my child, so I had to give it to one of my friends, Avon and Stacia, because they son Marquise was on that team, and I let him ride with them, but I'm not being able to chance to see my son play. And the whole reason I started coaching was to be able to help my son. So me and the president of the program at the time, his name was Mr. Rogers, man, rest his soul. He passed away. And we got into, an argument back and forth. Like I wanted to go up. And he said, man, I need you on 5'7". Everybody coming 5'7" and asking for you. So you can't go nowhere. You can't move up to 6'8". You can't. Man, he like, look, I'll pay you to stay there. I like, man, I don't want to be at 5'7" or whatever. So that last year, I did 3 years over there. That last year, I told my son, me and Mr. Rogers had got and toured about some T-shirts and stuff like that. That's when I had started my Holy Dirt clothing line. I was just making shirts and everything else. So Holy Dirt started from a clothing company. And so I was, making my Holy Dirt shirts and uniforms and jerseys and stuff like that. People was asking me for, and I was making more money coming to the football field on Saturdays selling, the kids' jerseys and T-shirts with the names and numbers on it. I was in coaching shirts. I was making more money at the field than the people that was, that was the president and them that was running the field. So it led to some conflict. And so I decided to leave and go to Lock Raven, the Lock Raven Ravens.
Okay.
And I had a friend over there. His name was James Rose. And we coached baseball together at Northwood because I coached T-ball baseball Northwood because Midget was playing baseball. And so James Rose gave me an opportunity. He said, look, man, I need an offensive coordinator. I like the way you coach. Why don't you come on over Lock Raven? So I went over Lock Raven, 8-10 team, had an offensive coordinator. We had 40 kids on that team. And back then in them Pop Warner days, each kid got to get at least 6 plays.
Yeah.
Man, that was a headache dealing with the parents and why my son not getting in and, oh, man, I've been in practice all week and this, that, and other. Well, I was already good at customer service because of my business that I knew how to talk to the parents. And I would handle the parents, diffuse, so they would bring me to each age group to talk to the parents and diffuse the situations with the parents. And the parents are like, man, we like this guy. Coach is like, yo, this dude Duncan a lifesaver. I don't know where y'all bought him from, but he a lifesaver. So it wasn't even a year. It wasn't even a whole year. As soon as the season was over with, the president resigned. His name was Robert Peel. And Rob Peel, he resigned. He came to me, he said, Duncan, I think you'll make a great president over here at Lock Raven. I said, President, I just got here. You know what I mean? Like, I like coaching football. He said, man, I think you'll make a great president, man. I'm telling you, the people love you and everything else. And I'm like, ugh. So I ran for the president position, and I got voted as the president of Lock Raven, not even being there a full year.
Yeah.
And everything went from there. So I took Lock Raven to new heights. As far as Lock Raven Ravens, our swag went up. I was designing the uniforms now. And basically I could do whatever I want because it's my program now. And but I forgot this one little thing that they was part of the rec council, and they had a board, and a lot of little confusion and stuff went on because a lot of people didn't understand business over there, and some things happened, and I decided I was going to resign, and I was going to start my own program. After 3 years of being the president of Lock Raven, I went to resign, and I started Team Holy Dirt, and that's where Team Holy Dirt came from. I started my own nonprofit organization, used my business credit. My office was right across the street from Lock Raven's football field. So I ordered my helmets. I decided my colors. I was in HB, Harford County, Baltimore County league, and I was I was one of the I sat on the board there. So everybody knew who I was and everything else. I was the youngest one, I was the youngest black president at HB. So everybody knew who I was. So when I started Team Holy Dirt, this guy that was the president at the time, Craig White, he ran HB, Harford County, Baltimore County League. He was the president of the league, and he actually just took me under his wing and showed me how to run a football organization. He was in charge. He the one that started, I don't know if you remember the Bel Air Terps back in the day. Yeah. Yeah. Did you play rec ball?
Nah, I didn't play football before high school.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So the Bel Air Terps, that's what, yeah. So Gray Charles and them was in, all of us was in the same league and everything. So he took me under his wing, man. It is this white guy, and he didn't treat me no different, man, and treated me like a son. He came from money. He had money, and he treated me like a son. So everybody would see me all the time with Craig White, and people like, man, Craig didn't adopted you or whatever. And black guys used to come to me like, yo, Craig, don't even realize you black, dog. You know what I mean? Like, just stay in there. You know what I mean? So, and it was good. We just had a good relationship. I never really seen color growing up anyway, because this first city I was raised in was like South Dakota. And so I was the only black kid in town there. So I always played with everybody, you know what I mean? So I got along with everybody my whole life. And so, yeah, Craig took me under his wing and, man, showed me how to run a program, how to get grants, all types of stuff, man. And Team Holy Dirt just became a phenomenal after that, you know what I mean? The swag, my passion, it was me. I could do whatever I wanted to do there. We was independent. We didn't have a rec council, so we could make whatever moves we wanted to make and everything else, man. I could play without limits, because I was the rec council and everything. And that's how that started, man. The Team Holy Dirt, I had them guys like Mike Rumba and them. Mike Rumba came from Northeast Chargers with me. He was on the team with midgets since he was 5 years old. Right. And then that's like guys like Deron Ball, Darius Sample, Davon Ingram, Leonard Ferguson. All them guys, man, came from Holy Dirt. A lot of them left Lock Raven and came with me when I started Holy Dirt. And all them guys, I decided when they was younger, because I was coaching a team at Lock Raven as a president called the Gold Team. And I wanted to prove to people that you don't have to have 5-star athletes to win championships. And we was winning championship year after year after year after year. And it was all about the way you coach. I was trying to teach people about coaching and the way you coach. If you're a developmental coach, you can develop your team into what it is you want it to be and everything else. And so the reason I came to Dundalk was I told them boys when they was like 8 years old, I said, I'm going to go to a high school and I'm going to keep all of y'all together in the high school. I was just talking, though. I didn't think I was ever going to get a high school job.
Yeah.
And I was just, talking and Mr. Nash, you remember Mr. Nash?
Yeah.
Mr. Nash gave me an opportunity. They came out and watched, me play at Team Holy Dirt one time when I was the basketball coach, Brian Powell. You remember Coach Powell?
Yep.
Yep, Coach Powell actually gave me his job for JV basketball to get me in as a coach. And once I got in, I maneuvered from there. I volunteered on the varsity team when Coach Downs was there. And Mr. Nash said, one day, it was basketball, end of basketball season, and Mr. Nash come walking through the gym. He said, Duncan, did you hear the good news? This is when Coach Sandor first got hired to be the new head coach of Dundalk. He said, did you hear the good news? I said, what good news? I said, oh, yeah, about Sandor. I said, yeah, I'm happy about that. He said, no. He said, you the new JV coach. JV what? I coached JV basketball already. He said, no, JV football. I looked around like, I don't run for no JV football position. He said, no, we had a meeting, Mr. Showdice, me and the administrators, and we love so much what you did with the basketball team and hold them accountable. That's when, I don't know if you remember, I used to have only 6 guys on the team, 7 guys on the team.
Yeah.
And we were one game from the championship. He said, you hold them guys accountable, you teach them, in the classroom, and they said, we want you to head up the JV football team. He said, so you're the new head coach. I said, hold up, man. I need to go home, talk to my wife, my kids, and I ain't talking to nobody about this. You know what I mean? I can't just say agree to this. You know what I mean? So, and lo and behold, I went home and Mindy said, do it. And I was able to do it. And I knew that next year I could bring my Holy Dirt guys in.
Yeah.
And so that's when everybody started transferring in. And I was responsible for bringing or transferring in over 46 kids into Dundalk. My tender there. That's a lot of people, man. Bringing in and transferring in, self-handedly transferring over 46 kids in to the school.
You created something there because Dundalk, they were like so my freshman year, 2012, you were JV coach. I wasn't playing football at this time, but they weren't good. That's the fact of it. But and the next years was like the JV team was good, but the varsity team sucked, right?
Right.
And the more years, then the varsity team got good because of your guys.
Yeah, and then I moved up to varsity. As soon as I moved up to varsity, I think I was there 1 year, and then the next year we was in the state championship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it happened that fast, man. It happened really fast. We had to wait in line. Remember, I don't know if you remember, they moved us from 2A to 3A, and we had to play teams like Franklin and Milford Mill before we was playing like Spurs Point and Chesapeake and everything, and Eastern Tech. And now we was, now we had to play, and everybody said we was going to struggle when we had to play Milford Mills and the Woodlawns and the Franklins. And I said, man, I ain't got to wait in line for nobody. You know what I mean? Like most teams, you got to wait to win. Like, you got to wait till somebody die to get an inheritance. No, not Coach Duncan. I'm going to win right now. You know what I mean? So, and I taught y'all a work ethic of in the weight room, on the field, and it just was a sense of excellence that I held y'all accountable for in the classroom. I made it turn into all competition. Y'all competed in the classroom, y'all competed, on the field, y'all competed in the weight room, y'all competed in everything in life. And now to watch you and see you, just living your goals and dreams. And I just look back and I smile. I talked to, you remember Corday?
Yeah.
Corday and Hamza?
Yeah.
And so I just did an interview with Corday on Monday, for his class, and he was just, saying how much I made a difference in his life by the work ethic that I taught him and everything else. Y'all was on the same team there that your sophomore year, right?
Yep.
Yep, your sophomore year. So y'all was all on the same team and everything. And we was just, we was good, man. We was good, man. I didn't want to tell y'all every day, but I seen it in practice. We was really good. And I was talking trash because I knew how good my team was. I was making them homegoing services that people didn't like.
Yeah, and like you said it, you didn't have any 5-star athletes really when you think about it. You had some natural talent, but then when we faced Franklin in varsity later on, they had other receivers were going D1 already.
Yep. Yeah, West Virginia and all them schools, yeah.
Yeah, you still beat them. You still shut down the receivers.
Right. Right.
Not like we had 5-star corners.
Right. Exactly. No, we probably had 2-star corners. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so it was just, I'm gonna tell you though, I'm gonna tell you this. I get misunderstood a lot when it comes, and you saying it firsthand. I get misunderstood when it comes to coaching. Um, and my nature, I'm not a from a distance, you'll think Coach Duncan is a mean person.
Yeah.
From a distance, you probably thought that when you first started, and
Yeah.
we became like best friends. You know what I mean? So, and it wasn't that. It was just that I wanted it more for you guys than y'all wanted it for yourself. And so I pushed y'all to a level of excellence. The things I started seeing you do in wrestling, I think it first started coming from our one-on-ones in the gym. And once I gave you the confidence, because I was giving everybody the confidence within them, let me tell you this. This is some real stuff. Strength is an outside source. We go to the gym and we lift weights, we train, but it's everything that we grab in the lift weights and stuff is outside of our body. We're doing shoulder press, curls, we getting strength. I never wanted y'all to build strength. The way we train to build power.
Right.
So we can move something again and again and again and again and again. And so we knew that our opponent was going to get tired way before we was going to get tired, because we was doing 50 reps of this, 100 reps of that. You know what I mean? Straight. And so I was creating an excellence in your mind that you never get tired.
Yeah.
Is if you apply that same system to everything you do in life, you will never, ever, ever, ever fail. Because if you can make it through Coach Duncan workouts in the summertime, ain't nothing in life you can't do. Right? And I was just creating that in your mind. And so, like I said, strength comes from an outside source, right? Even when people have death or something in their life, they always ask God, "Oh Lord, give me the strength." You asking something outside of you to give you the strength of something that you got already inside. All of us are built with a certain power, and it takes the right person to crank it up. And that's just what I did for y'all. I cranked on y'all power, and I made y'all start believing within you, because you already had the power within. And I made y'all start believing in the power within you, so you never had to ask for permission outside of you to use the power that you already had inside of you. That makes sense to you?
Yeah.
And so I just wanted y'all to believe in yourself. And once y'all believed in yourself, then y'all started valuing each other. And we built that whole thing off of love, man. We just loved each other. We would tell each other we loved each other every day, give each other five. Nobody would leave the locker room without telling everybody in there they loved each other. I love you, see you tomorrow. I love you, see you tomorrow. I love you. And we just built everything off of love, man. Love conquers everything. So you'll pull up to the field with your team, and I was pulling up to the field with my family. Because these guys was a group of family. You can't beat a family.
Right.
You can beat a team, but you ain't beat no family, because they gonna go out there and die for each other.
Right.
So
And I think especially young athletes need that they need a coach to push them there, or else they're never gonna go find that competition. So I started there, and then I went and I walked on to a Division I wrestling team. I wasn't D1 prepared, but then when I actually did it, it was the hardest thing I've ever done. And now it's almost like I can do anything. And it's like it's such a difference. Like high school wrestling, I thought I was decently good. I come here and I suck. Crazy. And like
starting over again. It's like starting over again.
It's just the differences in what levels in sports, like even D1 versus D2. I love using this example. We 3 years ago we faced a D2 team for fun, right? And our third string at 149 was facing the national champ in D2, pinned them first period.
Wow.
The huge differences, because you're just working and the people you learn from. I think you need to have a coach that has that knowledge, and I think that's what
right. I knew how to become a pro athlete, and so I turned you guys into a pro athlete mentality.
Yeah.
In the 9th, 10th, and 11th grade, the responsibilities I gave y'all. to be honest with you, when we got to the new school, that became like a campus. It was like a college campus because if you remember the summer workouts, you'll come in for summer workouts. We'll eat. Remember, we'll eat.
Yeah.
And then we would eat, start working out and training, and then I remember that time you bust your head as in ninth grade when you dropped the weight on top of your head. We were doing step ups.
My dad was a dick about that. He didn't want me to go to the hospital. I was like, yo, my head's busted. He didn't even say, he was on the phone. I'm like, but I love going there, right? Because like I wasn't that good at football. I'm not gonna lie, but I love going there because of the family aspect. Because I didn't feel like I had that at home, so that's why I loved it. I knew my potential in football, but
right. But I mean, you actually did really. I mean, I could tell you never played before, but as the season went on, you actually got better and better and better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but it catapulted you into the rest of your career in wrestling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you made it through that, it was like, man, it ain't nothing I can't do and everything. So, to be able to sit in the cafeteria in the summertime, we ate breakfast together. We go down there, we work out together. We go on the track sometimes together. And then we come back and we eat lunch together. Then guys would go home for a couple of hours and we back at the school 7-on-7. Yeah. It was like being in college, for real. You know what I mean? And so I gave y'all that so it was to be an easy transition. When y'all actually did go to college, y'all already was college prepared. The only thing a coach could say that you just don't fit into their system. You knew the game. You knew the weight room. Your body looked like you knew the weight room. And so only a coach could do is say that you don't fit in their system. So I just wanted, and let me tell you what I was saying, how y'all benefited. So my father wasn't there growing up, right? So I wanted to be everything I didn't have. My father wasn't there growing up, so I made sure I never left midget side.
Right.
I basically put my life on hold so I coached my son from the day he stepped on a football field, every game, every practice throughout his career. I was there. You know what I mean? There's not too many guys that can say they coach their son from Little League all the way through high school and put them in college. You know what I mean? So that was rare. But not only that, I didn't have good coaches in high school. And my coach, when I got to college, I thought my high school coach was good. And I realized when I got to college, he was terrible. Because I had the talent, but I didn't have the knowledge of the game. And that's what held me back. And so you guys benefited from me not having. So I said, was never going to be a kid that came past me or came across me and not had the essentials that they need to make it to the next level.
And it's crazy because us were like you were, like most kids on that team didn't have that father figure, or they had a father figure that they didn't like.
Right.
They came there to get away from that. So
exactly,
you could relate to them, and somehow you got a bunch of kids who hated male authority to listen to you.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? So, and it was, I think the biggest thing was I was just like y'all in every way. Now, I didn't come from all the cultural backgrounds that you guys came from, but I've been around enough people and I've experienced enough in life that I can relate to each and every one of you guys. And so, if you remember, I gave y'all the same rules as players that I had for my own child. Mm-hmm. You remember the no girlfriend rule? And everything else. So I gave y'all the same rules as players that I had for my own child. So I actually treated y'all as if y'all were my own kids. And so with that is, everybody now, if I was to ask you right now, and I know you're going to get this answer right, who do you think Coach Duncan's favorite was?
I think it was Ingram. No, who was it?
I thought you were going to say, for a period of time, I thought you were going to say, Coach Duncan, I know I was your favorite. You know what I mean?
I mean, so in a way, I almost said that, but Looking back, I wouldn't have said this back then, but looking back, Davon Ingram was my favorite teammate ever.
Right. Davon was my real second son.
Yeah.
So um, when I tell you I didn't have any favorites, all of you all was my favorites. I had a different relationship with each and every one of y'all. You know, me and you had a personal relationship where I actually watched you go from this timid, shy guy to this bold guy. I remember seeing you at the junior prom and everything else, and just your confidence and your what y'all call swag, your confidence and your swag went up. You know, you started winning wrestling. You started, doing your wrestling and winning tournaments and stuff like that. And you just your whole makeup changed just by I don't might be wrong, but just by us spending time in the weight room and building that confidence inside of you. And I did that for all my players. And, every time I had to present you with an award, I think I give you an unsung hero award or something like that one year?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, and I had to, present you with an award. And it was, and it wasn't like, like everybody, everybody knew you had been, me and Coach Armio talked about it, like, yo, Ashby, man, he's it was most improved or unsung hero or something like that. And but I had to give you that award because the effort you came from, and like I was telling him, from how far you came from down, you wasn't even a football player to what you became by the end of the season. It's like this kid has like 180 and went in a whole different direction. But I wanted you to continue with football, but I think you felt like you was overmatched when you went up to the next level and everything. But that wasn't your true passion anyway. But it was an honor for me to give you that award because you earned it. You know what I mean? And so it wasn't about like me having favorites. I had to give it to who really earned it and everything.
Yeah, I loved wrestling. Same when I came to college at the Division I level. I mean, it's a different world, and my coach told me the reason I didn't get cut because of who I was as a person and my work ethic.
Right.
That he's not looking for the best wrestlers; he's looking for the best men.
Right. And that's what people want. They want them locker room kids, man. I'm gonna tell you like this, man. If my daughter wasn't such a knucklehead, I would have let you date her back then. But I knew she probably would have beat you up, even though you was a wrestler, because she real aggressive. But you the type of kid like you, Jeff, Angelo, guys like that, man. Hamza, Corday. Y'all wasn't the most popular guys, but you guys had a tight knit circle that we would call it. So you got your, in high school you got your A-listers and you got your B-listers. Y'all was on the B list, but y'all circle was so tight that y'all was y'all own A-list.
You know what the difference is?
What?
B-list, we're not willing to change for anyone. That's how we can feel cool.
Right.
There's no problem with that, but but there is. Now that I see it.
And I respect that. That's why I'm always a B-lister. I'm never going to be an A-lister because I'm never going to change for anyone.
And the older I get, the longer my list of I don't give a fuck is.
Right, I got you.
I'm realizing that.
Right. And so, but that's been always your makeup, man. And so guys like that, you guys, I really appreciate y'all being in my life and being a part of, what we created. It made me look at things a whole different way. And everything, that you got these two groups and everything. You got the ends and you got the ends. And them ends right there, they ends with themselves. You know what I mean? And then you got the Dylan Buckers. You know what I mean? And he's a mix of both. He's a mix of both crowd. I love Dylan to death, man. But I remember that one practice when Dylan came to me like, Coach Duncan, I'm gonna be your best player. I'm gonna work harder than everybody else. Man, the first week, man, we did the wall ups. Yeah. Remember when we used to do the wall ups?
Yeah.
Man, that first week he broke, man, was out there crying, man, because he couldn't get over the wall the 10 times like everybody. He was the last one doing it. And now when you look at it, that perseverance, he went through the same thing you went through, honestly, just on two different scales. That he got broken to a point where he wasn't but you didn't go through this. He wasn't as good as he really thought he was. And with the work ethic and being around me for a whole year, 2 years of, training and practicing, it changed his whole mindset and his whole work ethic. And then he turns into a monster after that. Like now he was able to back up all that talk because he had the work ethic to go with it. So if I didn't teach y'all anything, so think about this. DNA is real, right?
Yeah.
DNA is real. All of y'all are cut from my DNA. Now, I'm not y'all biological fathers, but the work ethic that I taught you guys, I still see it in all y'all lives right now. That DNA part is actually really real. So no matter what you do throughout life, you're still one of my child. Like I call you one of my babies, no matter what. So
yeah, I'm just now I went back to I got the powerlifting style kind of lifting going. I don't do more. I do a lot of the powerlifting.
Okay, yeah. I'm doing high reps. I don't know if you check me out on my Running Buddy app. Running Buddy on IG. My Running Buddy, I do a lot of stuff, and I'm showing people how to cut weight fast. You remember I used to work out in the scuba diving suits.
Yeah, I've been seeing all the pictures you've been posting and stuff of your weight.
Yeah, and so just trying to show people what you can do if you really know what you're doing in the weight room and everything, and it doesn't take that much time to get that. You don't have to go get surgery and stuff like that. It don't take that much time.
What's your Instagram name so I can write it down?
It's Running Buddy. RUNNINBUDDY. Running Buddy _. Yep.
Running Buddy _ All right.
Yep. So it's on. I do on IG and everything. So yeah, I just wanted to. I always was a business guy and a businessman. I just wanted to teach y'all a level of work ethic,
right,
that you could carry throughout life. And if you apply what we learned or what you learned from me, there's nothing you can't do in life. You know what I mean? Like if you made it through Coach Duncan workouts, and you're here as a witness to tell you, man, if you could make it through a summer workout with crazy Coach Duncan, there's nothing in life you cannot accomplish.
Yeah.
So, and that's probably why you're doing so well at your job, being a car salesman, because your work ethic, man, it's impeccable.
Yeah, and I'm still working on it every day, figuring out new ways to test my mental.
Right. So, but yeah, so that's what happened. So, being there at Dundalk, you don't really appreciate. Let me say something about the staff that we had there. Coach Sandor put a great staff together. I wasn't in agreement of me being an offensive coordinator for the whole football program and teaching Coach Tyler the offense and me being a JV coach. I was always thought that you take your best offensive coordinator and you put him on your varsity team and everything. And so, but I was, like they said, I was good at getting guys developed and then getting them ready for varsity. Like, so at the JV level, and if you looked at the JVs, the JV really had more skill set than the varsity guys had. Wow. You know what I mean? If you looked at the JV game compared to the varsity game, we executed on a whole different level, offense and defense.
I saw some arguments saying, like the Josh Ronks and all them, saying that they could beat our varsity team. I was like, it wouldn't even be close.
No, it wouldn't even be close.
It would be a game.
Right, it wouldn't even be close. One, we ran two different systems.
Yeah.
They played for Coach Downs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we ran two different systems. We had the highest scoring offense in Baltimore County as a JV team. Like we could put 50 points up like it's by the third quarter.
Yeah, I remember.
You know what I mean? Like, so, and that was JV. And so, and the thing was that people didn't pay attention to the JV team like that. They only came to the varsity game. So they'd be like, and I remember back then, varsity and JV played on the same day at home.
Yeah.
So people would come to the JV game and stay for the varsity game, and kid was on JV. They were like, no, why this varsity team don't look as good as the JV? Why they don't execute as good as the JV? And when Sandor brought me up to varsity, it was some conflict in the beginning with me and Coach Tower because when he brought me up to varsity, he made me the varsity offensive coordinator. So here it is that the offensive coordinator that was the offensive coordinator for the last 2 years now has to be the guy that comes up from JV's assistant. So it was some, and I didn't understand it back then, you know what I mean? And so we took some lumps that first year. That's the year Midget dislocated his hip.
Right.
And if you remember, at the Midget dislocated his hip, we didn't win another game that season. And so we took our lumps that year. That next year, that's when Darius was a junior. And that's in that the next year, we did 7-on-7 that summer. I think you was out there taking pictures that summer.
Mm-hmm.
And we did 7-on-7 that summer. And man, I'd love to see some of them pictures that you probably still have with them. But we did 7-on-7 that summer. And I knew when we did 7-on-7 that summer, I said, yo.
That was dominating, man.
Yeah, I said, yo, we got a championship team. I didn't want to tell nobody. I told the coach, we went up to Maryville. We blew everybody out at Maryville. We went up to Gilman. We slaughtered everybody at Gilman. Every tournament we got in, we won. And I said, yo, we got this gonna be a ride. That's why we call it last ride. Yeah. That was the last ride. And that was just such a beautiful moment, man. I mean, but Coach Sandor did a good job putting the staff together, really calibrating our egos and everything. I had the biggest ego. You know, I got the biggest ego in the world. Like I got a huge ego, man. I don't like to lose. But I had the type of ego that I was going to tell you what I was going to do to you on Monday, and then I was going to come out there on Friday and do exactly what I said I was going to do to you. And that was scary for a lot of people because you don't hear nobody talk trash that far in advance about, you know what I mean, what their team going to do. But I knew one thing, I knew nobody trained like we trained. Yeah. I knew nobody had to put together practice schedule the way that we had, that it was so intense. Top of the hill Tuesday, Maniac Mondays, Wisconsin Wednesdays, Thirsty Thursdays, and we kicked butt on Fridays. You know what I mean? So I knew nobody trained the way we trained, so that's why I could talk. The only way we was going to lose, we had to turn the ball over and beat ourselves. That was it. I mean, think about it. I took Kobe. Kobe was our center. I took Kobe and turned him into a running back.
Yeah.
A 6'4", 250-something-pound running back that won a 4.640.
That's like that one white boy on Sparrow's Point team, their fullback. Remember that guy?
Yeah. Big guy. Big kid. Yep. And so nobody came out there to tackle no grown man running that fast.
Yeah.
So by the fourth quarter, people was moving out his way. And that's when, he collected all them yards. And to this day, he's still out in California playing running back. So he go from center to playing running back. How many people can really say that story?
Not many.
Right. So,
not many.
Right. So, and it's just an excellence, and we just talking about football, but I did the same thing with basketball. If you were sitting out, come to the game, I did the same thing with basketball. It was the same level of excellence that I created with football and the same level of excellence that I created with basketball. So, nothing really changed, and it was all about work ethic. The guys were running with the bricks. I know y'all seen them in the hallways, running with the bricks and, jumping up and down and just create the craziest workouts ever. But mentally, I had them where they knew nobody worked as hard as they did, so it was easy for us to beat teams.
For real, man. I mean, you did something great with Dundalk. No one's gonna forget it. Or at least I hope they don't.
I appreciate it, man. One day they're going to probably put a statue out there. And somebody can remember.
That's when I'll come back. Until then, I ain't coming back to Baltimore.
Right. Well, some things happened right there when I was leaving. Some racial stuff happened.
Right.
That led me out of Dundalk and everything. And it had to happen that way in order for me to finally leave. I was so in love with Dundalk. I was in love with the area. I did all my shopping around there. Mm-hmm. I got free meals at restaurants because everybody, hey, you Coach Duncan? Yeah, Coach Duncan. yeah, man, you ain't gotta pay for your food. And at the time, my wife at the time, Miss Mindy, she enjoyed the perks of being Coach Duncan's wife. At the end of the day, I left there and I went to City College, and situation happened at City where the head coach got fired, and like at the third or fourth game, and I ended up taking over as the head coach for the rest of the season. And the alumni wanted to bring me back and make me the head coach of City. Now, one of the assistant coaches, who was the principal's assistant, asked the principal, can he be the head coach? Can he get a chance to be the head coach?
Right.
And he made all these excuses about I was an alumni. We see what happened last time. We put somebody's head coaches that wasn't alumni. They didn't have our best interests and this, that, and the other. And so he basically cut my throat, and the principal gave him the head coaching job and wanted to have me on as the assistant head coach. Well, I would have been in the same position I was at Dundalk. I didn't want to do that again. Mm-hmm. And so I decided that, this is my last straw. This is my last game I'm coaching in Baltimore, which was the City Poly game. That was my very last game that I coached in Baltimore, and I said I was leaving, coming to Charlotte. And I came to Charlotte, man. Let me tell you. I sent out my resume to like 22 schools, man. And, 4 of them really got back to me and said they had positions open for what I was looking for. And I picked the school. Excuse me for a second. I picked the school that was the worst school in the history of North Carolina football. In the last 12 years, they only won 2 games. Wow. It was like 2-52. And so people would ask me, like, Duncan, are you trying to commit coaching suicide? Right? And I was like, nah, I just want to show people how I could take any team and bring them back. So I got down here on June 9th. I got in the weight room with them June 11th, Ashby. They had never worked out the way I worked out. Never, ever, ever, ever worked out the way I worked out. I changed them boys' mind. I put a new offense in. We started winning 7-on-7s, and it started developing. It's called Garringer High School. First game we played the team is called West Charlotte High School here. West Charlotte will remind you of Dunbar back at home. Right. They got the history of Dunbar. Yeah. All the athletes, all the top athletes go there. They got all the championships and everything. We come out opening drive, right? We get the ball kickoff. Opening drive. Now, this team been 2-52 in the last 12 years. We get out opening drive. We march right down the field, score a touchdown on the opening drive.
Sure.
We away at West Charlotte. Everybody, the band stopped playing, everything. They like, yo, did Garringer just do that? The principal came up to me on the sideline. She said, Dr. Guani, she said, Coach Anderson, I don't know what you're doing, but I've never seen this team play like this. Keep on going. Well, we ended up playing that game. We ended up losing that game at the end of the game. The guys just didn't know how to finish. And we had a couple chances to win that game. And we ended up losing 20-6. But we fought so hard at the end of the game that I said, yo, guys, we're going to win next week. They're like, what? They said, Coach, I said, yo, we're going to win next week. One of the kids pulled my shirt like, Coach, we play Hardin next week, Hardin University. I said, I'm new down here. I don't know no damn Hardin University. I don't give a damn who we play. We could play the Carolina Panthers. We gonna win next week. And he like, Coach, they the defending state champions for 4A. I like, so what? We still winning next week. And so we had a good practice that week. My motto was easy like Sunday morning that week. We come out to the game of Hardin. It was their ring night. They was actually getting their rings because they won the state championship. So it was ring night. That was their first home game or whatever. People got there at halftime. Score was 20-6 at halftime. We was up against the defending state champions.
No way.
People was coming to the game. They got there at halftime like telling us, hey, man, fix the scoreboard wrong. People were like, nah, man, Garringer winning. They're like, what? Yeah, they got this new offensive coordinator, man, and he just be throwing these hand signals, and they just be going. You know what I mean? And so we ended up winning that game. We won that game 41-20. We beat the defending state champs.
Oh,
Now, a team that only won 2 games in the last 12 years, the second game of the season, I lead them to beat the defending state champions 41-20. We was all over the front page of the Charlotte Observer and everything. We had the first page, the front page of the newspaper here because it was their biggest significant win. And I just wanted to show people that you didn't have to have 4 or 5-star athletes to win, win championships and win games. So the bad thing about that, by the 4th game of the season, I get into a real bad car accident. And I got hit by a drunk driver head on, so I couldn't walk for 2 months, so I wasn't able to finish the season coaching. And them boys really needed me, man. We was like maybe 1 or 2 games away from making the playoffs. And that would have been a milestone for that school to come from winning 2 games in the last 12 years to making the playoffs with this new coach. And I got into a bad car accident. So, right after that, that's when I got the pro coaching job in Sacramento. I went to Houston and interviewed. And I actually interviewed with 52 other coaches, and I got the highest evaluation of all the coaches that interviewed. Like with my drills, my charisma, my answers in interviews, and they gave me the highest evaluation. So I got the first pick of what team I wanted to coach, and I chose Sacramento, California, in this league called the APL, the American Patriot League. So just like the XFL, but pro football, you pay our players $55,000 a year.
wow.
So,
man, Coach.
So I had a journey, man.
You came a long way, man. That's why. I mean, you inspire many, especially the boys from Baltimore.
Thanks, man.
Man,
and I just, just with that, I wanted, like I said, y'all cut from my DNA, and I wanted everything that I do be a token of a token of love, like Coach is doing this for us to chase him. And this to show y'all can do whatever y'all want to do, man, in life, man. I just appreciate you. I appreciate you guys' lives, man. I appreciate the brotherhood that we created. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a Dundalk fraternity for the athletes that played for me at Dundalk. And once a year, we're going to do a trip. And all of us going to meet up in one location on this, destination trip. So all of us can see each other now and everything, and hang out, have some fun, tell some stories, share some business with each other and stuff like that, and help each other still continue to grow in that same brotherhood that we had since day one.
I would definitely show up for that. You start doing that, I'm there,
Yeah, man, and talk about, just life, man, and stuff like that. You never know who need a hug sometimes.
Yeah.
You never know who need us, sometimes. So, and just to be able to make myself available to you guys again, like, when you leave and go to college and you realize that, you had a father figure or a guy that really, really cared about your well-being and cared about who you became. Remember, I was telling you, it's bigger than football. Like, most of y'all not going to play college football or pro football, but you're going to be a father one day. You're going to be, a husband probably one day. You're going to be somebody's good citizen in your community. You're going to be a business or a car salesman one day and everything. And the importance is that I teach y'all the essentials that you need to be a great man. And that was it. That's all I was teaching y'all, man, with work ethic and everything. You're probably the most dependable person everywhere you go because of what you learned from just some years of us being together in the weight room and on the football field, that people know if they get you involved, they can depend on you, and so that's all I wanted to give you guys, man. That was my whole entire drive to give you guys, and I'm glad y'all received it.
Yeah, that's the end goal, to be a great man.
Right. So I'm excited about you and your future, man, and doing the car sales, man, and I got a group of people that do these blasts around the, different from city to city that do car sales. They make tons of money. They just jump in there for like a week or two and sell all these cars, and then they go to the next city to um, help dealerships get their sales up. And so they do that. So I definitely be thinking about you when I'm hearing about what they doing and everything else, man. So, but yeah. So what else you got for me, though?
That's it. Wait, one thing. Remember when I hit a 215 bench? Remember how happy I was?
Yeah, yeah,
I hit
yeah.
I hit 350 last week.
350?
350,
Oh
yeah.
man, you probably benching more than me now, man. I done got small. How much you weigh now?
200.
200?
I
Yeah,
was
man. You
I was
probably
230 last summer and weaker. I got kind of fat. I got kind of low, but now I'm
right,
finally getting better. You know,
man. Well, you looking good, man.
feeling good.
I'm
Yeah.
proud of you, man. I'm. Like I always talk. I tell people about. I always talk about my favorites, man, and not to trying to make you feel good, but when I give a kid an unsung hero award, when I give a kid a most improved award, them guys become my guys because I done watched them. MVPs gonna be MVPs. You know what I mean? Like some people already expected who an MVP is gonna be,
Oh, you know.
but the unsung hero, you don't expect, you don't have no idea who that's gonna be from year to year.
Yeah.
And the most improved is just about what the guy did on the off season and everything that become the most improved player. And so when I think about guys like you, I think about guys like Hamza. Hamza was playing with pins in his hip,
Yeah.
and they had already broken, ruptured. And so, remember, I used to make us do hills at the games. And Hamza would be like, "Man, coach, I'm gonna do them with my guys. I'm gonna do them with my brothers." And have you talked to Hamza lately?
Not lately, no, but I still follow all of them on social media.
Man, Hamza works for the government, right? Hamza is the supervisor for the Census Bureau.
Oh wow.
He just got a $23,000 raise.
Wow.
$23,000 raise. Hamza is what, 24, 23?
Yeah.
20, yeah, 22, 23. Making that type of money like that, lives out in Hagerstown, 6-bedroom house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Married. So, when I look at you guys and the things that I instilled in you guys, man, I look at guys like Midget who got his own business, Daron who's running his own carpet business and everything, man, looking at you and doing a podcast now and the things you did with photography, watching you do what you did with wrestling, in college and everything else, and now being a car salesman. I just know I did right by you guys. You know what I mean? So if y'all never had a father, or if y'all didn't like y'all father, y'all already knew Coach Duncan was your daddy too. You know what I mean? If y'all had a problem, I was the first one out there swinging with you. So, but man, I love you, man. I appreciate you with this and this and the podcast and building a new platform and everything, man. And yeah, it was good just to go back over some old memories, man. Shout out to my guys, man. Coach Sandor and Coach Tyler and all the staff that we had there. They was the main guys. Coach Armio, man, I love that guy to death. Very big misunderstood guy and everything. And but shout out to them guys, man, the original Dundalk coaching staff and everything, man. And you guys, man, the guys in them classes that made me, y'all brought out the best of me, man. Like I would challenge y'all every day. Y'all come back the next day like, Coach, that was nothing. Y'all be sore, but that was nothing. Y'all got to give me some more. So y'all challenge me to be a better coach, better fitness trainer. And I wouldn't be the fitness trainer I am now if it wasn't for you guys, honestly. Because y'all challenge me every day to give it more and more and more and more and more. Like, man, I can't break these dudes.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Like, they keep showing up. Like, ain't nobody taking a day off. but y'all got instant results. So that's why y'all was coming back every day, man. So I love you, man, and you know, tell your dad and all them. I said, hi, man. Your sister, how's your sister doing?
All right, I think I don't really talk to them too much anymore.
Oh man, you didn't want to hibernate to yourself.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I talk to my mom,
Right.
sometimes, but I'm just trying to figure myself out right now. So I'm
You
gonna
got
keep.
it.
Yeah,
You got it, man. It's already there within, man. I don't know if you get a chance to catch out my thoughts of the day in the morning.
I do.
Sometimes I get the thoughts of the day, and sometimes some of that stuff, I just talk about some of my experiences in life and how I can reach back and teach. That was some of the stuff that y'all got every day in practice, at the practice, them talks. And people don't understand what made y'all so great. Was y'all got to talk to this guy every day in practice or got one of them lessons every day. You know what I mean? I took in the smallest thing to create a lesson out of it and everything and showed you how to use it in life. So that's why I started doing thoughts of the day just to be able to, so people could see why my Dundalk teams or why my football teams, when I was at City and then when I came down here to Garringer and then that little bit of time at Bury, why my teams are so great is because they get to get the thoughts of the day every day at practice. So people are only getting or seeing what you guys was getting every day in practice.
Mm-hmm.
When I do the thoughts of the day, y'all was getting that every day in practice, at the end of practice, or some type of motivation to get us started in practice and everything, man. So I appreciate y'all trusting me with your life, and I just see the fruits of my labor and the fruits of your labor now from the result from all that, man. So if you need me at any time, man, I'm always available to you.
Hey, same here, Coach. Hey, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you too, man. I hope this helps somebody out, man, and and let me know when you want to rev it up a little bit. We can go into some football stuff, football questions,
Yeah, we can do
and
that. Yeah.
everything. And I could tell you why people doing a bad job. We could talk about the Ravens. We could talk about the NFL. That's one thing I would love to talk about, the NFL and why they get it wrong every year, and why Lamar Jackson is playing the way that he played. I could break that down and show you the whole scenario of why and what it takes for him to get better.
We can do some
So,
football talk. Maybe next time it'll be in person if we're ever near each other.
all right, we'll do that, man. We'll
Yeah.
do that. Or you could bring a panel on here and we can all get to arguing about stuff, man. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
All right, Coach. I'll see you.
All right, man. I love you, man.
Love you too, man.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Yep.